What's up again, everybody? I'm Clayton. Welcome back to Ages of Film. And with the release of The Odyssey, which is currently playing in theaters, go check it out if you haven't already. It's time to do a ranking of all 13 Christopher Nolan movies. So, yeah, we're going to go in and rank all 13 of his films. Obviously, Chris Nolan is one of the biggest and most premier and prestigious directors working today. He's in a lot of people's, top 5 directors of all time. If you remember when I did the collab with some YouTube buddies of mine a while back when we did a top 10 favorite directors list, he was on my list. He was top 5 on my list as well. So he's definitely a director that I love. Definitely a director that I admire greatly and always look forward to seeing his work and his films, and will always enjoy watching everything that he does. So haven't done a Nolan ranking yet, so here we go. I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free because I am including The Odyssey in this list. I have seen The Odyssey. I've only seen it once so far, but I feel pretty cemented based on that one watch as to where it will fall on this list. So before I get into it, guys, let me know your list, your ranking of Christopher Nolan's movies in the comment section. Just a friendly reminder, guys, this is just my opinion. There's no need to be upset or offended by anything I have to say or any of these rankings. Feel free to let me know, what is your favorite Chris Nolan film? How would you rank these movies? And what did you think of The Odyssey if you have seen it already? All right, so we're going to go worst to best as always, and let's get rocking. So coming in at number 13, we have Dunkirk from 2017. A 3-star film. Now, here's the thing. I do like Dunkirk. I like it. This is a 3 out of 5, which means it does get a positive review. Anything 3 out of 5 and higher is what I would consider to be a good film. Now, obviously, the level of good varies the higher up you go on the ranking, but a 3 out of 5 is a good film. I would give it a positive review. There are more positives than negatives with this movie, so I want to start just by laying that out. I do like this film, which says something, right? If this is the bottom of Nolan's ranking and it's still a 3 out of 5, obviously, he doesn't have a single bad film on this list. He hasn't made a single bad film, in my opinion. So the thing with Dunkirk for me, for one, I'm not a big war film guy. War films they're not my favorite genre of movies. I don't gravitate towards war films very often for a number of reasons, personal reasons I won't get into. I'm not a big war film guy. There are some war movies that I do love, but most of the time I'm not going to really go out of my way to watch a war film. But secondly, the bigger issue with Dunkirk and what weighs it down for me is I don't feel like this is a film that has any characters that I personally really connect with. And for me, if you're new to my channel, characters are what matter the most in film. For me, it's about characters because they're the ones ultimately telling the story. So if you don't have good characters to tell your story with, it's going to affect the overall experience I have with the film. Now, that's not to say that the acting is bad in this film or that it doesn't have a good story. It has both. It does have good acting and it does have a good story. But I don't feel we spend enough time with any one character in this film for me to really invest with any of them. So this is definitely an experiential type of film, a film that is meant for you to just experience this moment of time in history with these soldiers and, you know, get the feeling of what they may have felt like in World War One when all this took place. So I get that. And Nolan does a good job at putting you in the seat and making you feel and experience what these guys felt and experienced. So job well done there, right? That's what he was trying to do. However, the characters, it comes at the cost of the characters, because again, I just don't really invest with any of the characters in this movie, and because of that, I never really feel a whole lot of emotional weight to this film. And there are parts of it, specifically in the second act, where I get a little restless, get a little bored, because I'm not invested with any of the characters to really pull me through all the way to the end. So for those reasons, that and this being a genre that I'm just not, doesn't have a whole lot of rewatch value for me, those are a couple things working against this film that are pretty weighty. So at the end of the day, again, it's subjective, but 3 out of 5, Dunkirk comes in at the bottom, number 13. I did see this in theaters. I've seen most of these films in theaters, but yeah, and like I said, still a good film. So Dunkirk, number 13. Coming in at number 12, we have Following. This was Nolan's first feature film, released in 1998 with a $6,000 budget. So you talk about being an independent film. This is the very definition of an independent film. No studio backing, no studio funding. This was all Nolan and a group of friends coming together on weekends when they had the time and putting this together. It's really just an extraordinary accomplishment for the very little resources and what they had to work with. The fact that he was able to pull something like this off with what he had is incredible. A 3.5 for me is my rating for Following. I've seen this multiple times, and I actually do quite like Following. I like it quite a bit. This is probably going to be at the bottom for most people who have seen it. A lot of people haven't seen this film, but for people that have, I would assume that this would probably be at the bottom for most people, because of the technical limitations of the film. Everything that I talked about, $6,000 budget, no studio backing, no studio funding, so it is very very amateur-ish in that regard. But I don't think anybody that has seen this movie that I know of would say that the concept or the story, or really even the characters for that matter, suffer, because all of those I think actually work quite well. This is Nolan's shortest film. It's just over an hour, and it's actually conceptually quite brilliant, and a film that I do enjoy, and that's actually why I have this actually above Dunkirk, where Dunkirk blows this out of the water when it comes to technicality and craftsmanship, but it's also because the budget is ridiculously more than what the little independent budget he had for Following. But as far as concept and the story, I'm actually more intrigued and more engaged with the story and the characters in Following than I am with Dunkirk. So if you handed me both of these films and said, which one do you want to watch, I would be more likely to actually want to watch Following than Dunkirk, because again, it has characters that I'm interested in, and it has a story that I enjoy following from beginning to end. It's very it's very short. It's, you get in and out very quickly. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and yeah, just an ending that really kind of is very Nolan-esque in the ending. So yeah, following 3.5. I would totally understand why this would be at the bottom for anybody. So it's not something I would make a fuss about. If this is your least favorite Nolan film, I get it. But just again, from that rewatch value, the subjective experience that I have with films, I personally enjoy following at least a tier higher than Dunkirk. So following comes in at number 12 for me. Coming in at number 11, we have The Dark Knight Rises. Now, this might be a shocker to a lot of people. If you've been with my channel for any given time, you know that when it comes to Batman, it's hard for me to be objective. Look, I'm a massive Batman fan. Okay, Batman has been in my life as far back as I can remember. Some of the earliest memories in my life are Batman related memories. So he's been in my life as far back as I can remember. I've always loved the character Batman. He's my favorite fictional character, period. He's the GOAT. So yeah, I saw this in theaters when it came out back in 2012. Loved it. And I've always really enjoyed this movie. But I will say this past viewing, when I watched it leading up to Odyssey and ultimately for this ranking, the things that have always bothered me about Rises bothered me even more this time around. So this is a frustrating movie for me because the highs are incredibly high. Like the things that I love about Dark Knight Rises, I freaking love. But the things that bother me just really, they bother me. They really do bother me, especially coming off the back of TDK, The Dark Knight, and how much of a masterpiece that film was. To have this be as sloppy as it is in the writing and the script, just, it's frustrating. It's definitely very frustrating, because I know Nolan can do better. I know he has done better. So yeah, there's a number of things that really affect my viewing experience in a negative way with this film. I've never liked how Bane is defeated in this film, and really just the whole ending of Bane's character, where he basically just turns out to be a pawn for Talia al Ghul. He was never really the big bad of the film. He was really just a pawn in Talia's scheme. He even sheds a tear. We see Bane crying because of his little love loss of Talia. And you could tell, like, this guy's just been her pawn the whole time. And I really hate that ending to Bane, because he's such an awesome villain. He's such a badass in this film. I love Tom Hardy's portrayal of Bane. Very menacing, very intimidating. Just an awesome version of the character. But that ending to the Bane character just has always, even the first time I saw this, as much as I loved it then, it still bothered me. I was just like, man, really? That's how we're just going to kill him off? And then, he gets killed off. Catwoman, comes riding through on the little bat cycle, blows him half to hell, and then that's it. It's just like, to me, I feel like that was a victory that Batman deserved to have. Bane had just broken the bat. He had just dropped him in this prison, left him for dead, was about to destroy his city. And then Batman doesn't even get the earned victory over Bane that he deserved to have. He almost has it. He's on the verge of having it, but then they take it from him just to have this very predictable plot twist with Talia that, as a Batman fan, I could see coming from a mile away. I knew that was Talia al Ghul. Nolan never fooled me with that. So I saw that coming, pretty easily. So then you steal the victory that Batman had earned to beat Bane on his comeback, and then you basically leave Batman in the need of Catwoman to come in and save him from Bane and have her kill Bane off. So the whole ending to the Bane character and everything that went down there has always just frustrated me, man. And then there's some big plot conveniences in this film that are typically beneath Nolan. He usually does not make these kind of plot conveniences or plot armor in film. This one has a lot of them. Batman getting back to Gotham after being left for dead in a pit, completely broke, no money, no access to all his back tech, still being able to get to Gotham undetected with nobody knowing that he's there. It just big convenience. A number of other big conveniences in this film. You know, you have Batman starting the film, Bruce starting the film, kind of this broken guy, bad knee injury, and then, you know, Batman returned for like one night, and then he gets beaten by Bane, broken in half, thrown in a pit, broken back, and then all it takes to heal his back is, you know, a prison doctor just, you know, hitting the, you know, his spine back into the position, does a few push-ups, and then he's ready to go fight Bane again, and do a second comeback to Gotham. It was messy, man. It was messy. It was incoherent. And it's a film, again, that's very frustrating. And these are things that bother me, things that bother my viewing experience, because it's Batman. For one, it's Batman. Two, it's Nolan. Those are two big things. So when it comes to Batman films, I take them very seriously. I want Batman done right. Secondly, when it comes to Nolan, he has set such a high bar for himself that for him to make these kind of petty mistakes that are beneath him, again, really kind of bring this film down for me. So while the highs are incredibly high, the lows and the things that frustrate me really frustrate me with this film. So overall, it's 3.5. I still like it. It's still, you know, it's still get a positive review. Still a film that I do quite enjoy. But definitely the weakest of the Dark Knight trilogy, in my opinion. So Dark Knight Rises comes in at number 11. Coming in at number 10, we have Memento from 2000, a film that I've always loved, but one of the things with Memento that is really working against it is the rewatch value. I feel that once you've seen it once, and you know the cat's out of the bags, so to speak, and you know how the trick is done, you know the plot twist. At that point, it leaves you with a sense of awe. Like, how did Nolan do that? How did he create this story and tell a story backwards in reverse chronological order like that? It's a brilliant film, conceptually brilliant, and executed near flawlessly, right? But again, going back to character, and characters are, again, what means the most to me in film. It doesn't really have any characters that I want to go back and revisit, that I want to go spend time with again. It's not a film that moves me on an emotional level, like really deeply or on any profound level. It's a film that I greatly respect, and I know that when I do watch it, I am going to enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. This is a 4 out of 5 for me. So I do love Memento, but I'm having to justify this ranking and justify why certain films fall where they are. This is Nolan again, right? This is Nolan we're talking about. So there's not a bad film on this list. So even though I may be, you know, bringing up certain criticisms with these films, it's really just a way for me to justify the placement of each of these films. So don't hear me saying this about Memento and defer from that, you know, I don't like this film or whatever. This is a 4 out of 5. That is a great a 4 out of 5 is a great film. On my ranking chart, a 4 out of 5 is what I would consider a great film. And I do think Memento is a great film. I do love this film. It just doesn't have that rewatch value because it doesn't have characters in it that really make me want to come back and rewatch it. And it doesn't move me on a profound emotional level that where it lingers on my mind or it makes me constantly think about it or want to come back to it like that. So Memento comes in at number 10. Great film. I highly respect it. And I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's just in a ranking up against a lot of other bangers. So Memento comes in at number 10 for me. Coming in at number 9, we have the newbie. Yeah, the new guy on the block, The Odyssey. A 4 out of 5 is my review, is my ranking for my rating for The Odyssey. So that should tell you, I do love this movie. I did thoroughly enjoy this movie. Seeing it in theaters, I loved it. I thought it was great. Definitely a lot more positives than negatives. Although I will say I don't quite buy into the level of hype that the Odyssey is getting. Like I've seen a number of charts and articles and stuff saying that the Odyssey is Nolan's masterpiece. It's his best film, the best work he's ever done. That's a bit of a stretch for me. I would not put it amongst his best films of all time. It's still a very good film. In fact, I would still call it a great film. It's just not among the best for Nolan. It's number 9 on my list, 4 out of 5. I did love it. It's a great film. I just had a few issues with it. I won't get into those issues just in case some of you haven't seen it yet. I don't want to really spoil anything with it. I'll say a couple of things as to justifying why it's a 4 out of 5 and not higher. That I don't think isn't going to spoil the film for you. For one, me personally, this is just my opinion, and I really don't think I've heard anyone else mention this, so this might just be a me thing. I fully acknowledge that. But for me personally, I did feel like Matt Damon was maybe miscast in this film. I did not buy him as this badass, great warrior that's feared and respected by all of his countrymen and all of his people. Like I just didn't buy that. I didn't buy him as the lead character in this film. I actually thought he got outperformed by a number of his other castmates. I thought Robert Pattinson did better than he did. I thought Anne Hathaway did better than he did. I thought Tom Holland did better than he did. And even more, some of the more minor roles stuck out to me more, like John Bernthal. I actually thought stuck out to me more in the smaller role that he had than Matt Damon. So for me personally, I felt like Matt Damon was miscast here. I don't think he did a bad job acting. I think he acted the part that was on the script. I do. I don't think he was bad. I think he acted the part that was on the script, that was on the page. But I just don't feel that he brought that I don't feel like he brought that alpha charisma or energy to the screen as the lead role, that I feel like that character really needed. Like when you watch these type of movies that have, a great warrior, like 300, that's one of the first ones that come to mind. I think that, what Gerard Butler did as Leonidas was much more commanding. He brought a lot more energy, a lot more charisma, a lot more intimidation in that role than what Matt Damon did here. Like I bought Gerard Butler as Leonidas. I bought it. He sold me. He sold me as the alpha dog of the Spartans. Russell Crowe in Gladiator. I bought it. Like he brought that energy, that presence, this general leader of the Roman army. I bought it. But here with Matt Damon, I just didn't buy him as, you know, as the lead character in this film. So not to say he did a bad job. I just didn't buy him as the character. And I hope that makes sense. That was one of my big issues with the film, is I just felt like he was miscast in this movie. Again, I may be the only one that feels that way. I fully acknowledge that because I haven't heard anyone else say that. So that might just be a me thing, but that's my honest assessment of it. So there's a few other things I won't get into because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm also keeping track of the time here, so I don't want this video to be super long. So I'll leave it at that. I did love The Odyssey. It's number 9 on my list. Still a 4 out of 5. Great film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. All right, coming in at number 8, and I'll just go ahead and say everything from here, from number 8 on up, are like either a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5. So that should kind of tell you what we're working with here when we're talking Christopher Nolan. All right, he's a genius. He's a can of corn. He's the best, or at least one of the best working today. So yeah, number 8. Number 8. Number 8 on my list is Inception. From 2010, obviously. A great film. I remember seeing this one in theaters and just being blown away by what Nolan did here. It was just incredible. And seeing the visual effects, the folding city and everything, like seeing that in theaters was just, it was incredible. It was truly incredible. I've always loved this film, but it's always just been weighed down slightly for a couple of reasons. One thing that I feel like this film has always kind of lacked for me personally is an emotional spine in the film, and an emotional through line, you know, that moves me in some, you know, on some profound level. It's a lot of action, a lot of fun, an incredible concept. Nolan just directs this film masterfully. There's nothing wrong in the technical craftsmanship of this film. There really isn't. I mean, it's an incredible piece of art, an incredible piece of film. But on an emotional level, on it, that subjective experience, I don't feel that emotional resonance with this film as I do with the 5 out of 5 films on this list for me. That does kind of weigh it down some. Also, people that know me already know where I'm going. Leonardo DiCaprio, not a fan. Okay, don't ask why. I'm not gonna go into it, but I have never been a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, I might be the only one. Everyone loves him. Everyone sings his praise. Everyone loves Leo. I don't. All right, I don't like the guy. I don't think he's as great of an actor as a lot of people think he is. I think he's, you know, overrated as an actor. I don't like him as a person at all. So any film that I see with Leo in it naturally is going to, in fact, this might actually be the highest rated Leo film for me. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a couple other Leo films that would also be like a 4.5. But I think if I was ranking all of them, this might actually be number 1. And it's still not even a 5 out of 5. I don't think I could give a Leo film a 5 out of 5. I don't think I could, because just his presence in the film alone is enough to bring it down to at least a 4.5. So don't like the guy. He just his presence in the film alone naturally brings the film down for me. That and the film not really having that emotional through line, that emotional spine, is why those are really the only couple things. A couple other minor issues, but overall, still a phenomenal film. Phenomenal film. Incredible concept. Visuals are amazing. The sound is amazing. The performances are all great. Yeah, great film. 4.5. Number 8 on my list. Coming in at number 7, we have Interstellar. This is a film that has gone up for me. I saw this one in theaters as well. For the longest time, I always liked this film quite a bit. It was always kind of around like a 3.5, maybe a 4 on a good day. But on this last viewing of it, it went up to a 4.5. I really loved it, and I just saw it through, I guess, a new set of eyes, and just through a new lens that I don't think I've viewed it through before, and that did actually help the experience I had with this film. Matthew McConaughey is brilliant in it, Anne Hathaway is brilliant in it, Matt Damon is brilliant in it. Yeah, and while I may have said that I thought Matt Damon was miscast in The Odyssey, I don't think he was miscast in Interstellar. I thought he played that part spot on. I thought he was a great casting choice for that role, and did a great job. Big surprise seeing him in the theaters when I saw this the first time. I was like, just as shocked as everyone else. What is Matt Damon doing in this? Nolan did a great job keeping that under tight wraps, but yeah, Interstellar is it's probably the closest Nolan film to Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey. And I mean, obviously it's no secret Nolan is a big fan of Stanley Kubrick. He's a fan of 2001. He was greatly inspired by 2001, and brought a lot of that into Interstellar. And yeah, an incredible film, incredible experience. And yeah, one of Nolan's, in fact, I would say it is Nolan's most emotional film. Anyone who thinks that Nolan doesn't do a good job at bringing a lot of heart or emotion into his films, where anyone who would say he's all spectacle, but he loses, he sacrifices emotional payoff, watch Interstellar. If you can watch Interstellar and still think that, then you're coming with prejudice. You are coming with prejudice if you think that after watching Interstellar. It is very emotionally heavy, and yeah, but a great film, an absolutely great film, and I do love it. It shot up for me. It's number 7, 4.5 out of 5. There you go. Coming in at number 6, we have The Prestige, from 2006. I've always loved The Prestige. Prestige is a great film. I love Christian Bale. I love Hugh Jackman. I thought both of them were great in this film. Michael Caine does a great job in it. And Nolan the fact that he does a movie about magic and magic tricks and how magic tricks are developed and performed, and then turns the film itself into a magic trick, by, he's giving you hints all throughout the film as to the ending, to the reveal in the third act, but you just don't see it. You're blinded the way that you are with the magic trick, not seeing how the trick is actually done. Genius, pure genius. Nolan, just an incredible job. Very daring and ambitious with this film, because if you don't execute it right, people are going to see it coming. They're going to pick up on the reveal very quickly. You have to have some stones, man, to go for this, and to have the confidence to know that you can pull the veil over people's eyes. for the reveal, and I think he did. I haven't met a single person that has seen this movie that said they did see the reveal coming. Not a single person. So that shows you how well Nolan executed the reveal and just the overall story of the film. Again, I love all the characters, and the acting here is great. It's still a 4.5 because it just doesn't quite have, again, that emotional resonance for me that his 5 out of 5s get. So I can watch it anytime and love it. But yeah, it's just not a film that sticks with me on an emotional level to the degree that 5-star films do. And it doesn't have any characters in it that stick with me or that fascinate me to the degree of, again, the 5-star films do. So but it's a great film. 4.5. It's number 6 for me. Love The Prestige. Coming in at number 5, and I'll just go ahead and say all 5 of these are 5 out of 5s. So Nolan has 5 movies out of 13, 5 movies that are a 5 out of 5 on my list, which is saying a ton about Nolan, because I don't give out 5-star ratings easily. Out of over 2,000 movies that I know I've seen because I've logged, I've given out just less than 100 5-star ratings. So you can do the math. I'm not good at math, but you can do the math. At less than 100 out of over 2,000 that have received a 5 out of 5, that's not a very high percentage at all. So I don't just hand out 5 out of 5s. So the fact that Nolan has 5 movies that are 5 out of 5 says just how great of a director he is for me. But number 5 on my list is Oppenheimer. Saw this in theaters, was blown away by it. Watched it, obviously again for this review, and loved it just as much. And this is typically would be a film or a story that wouldn't necessarily fascinate me all that much. Kind of a historical drama about a guy that I really didn't care that much about prior to seeing this film. And Nolan made me care. Nolan made me invest in Oppenheimer's journey, made me invest in his life, made me invest in his story. And Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr., was brilliant. Matt Damon was brilliant in this again, perfectly casted. Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, incredible job. Yeah, it's a 3-hour film, and to me, it doesn't really feel like 3 hours. It feels like maybe 2:20. Because I'm just very much invested in the characters and story all the way through, that I kind of lose track of the runtime. I don't really feel that runtime because I'm engaged all the way through. And yeah, that's credit to the brilliant directing of Nolan. So yeah, love Oppenheimer. Great score, great just technical craftsmanship. And yeah, love this film. 5 out of 5. It's number 5 for me. All right, coming in at number 4, we have Insomnia. Now, this might shock a lot of people with this being this high on my ranking, but man, I love this movie. I love this movie. This never used to be this high. I always had this like as a 4 or 4.5, I think at the highest, but man, watching it back for this ranking and for, the Odyssey, I was like, I sat there afterwards and I was like, why would this not be a 5? Why? Like, what if I was having to justify a 4 or 4.5, what would be the reasons why it wouldn't get a 5? And I thought about it and I was like, there isn't really. Like, this kind of, like, I always kind of had it as a 4 or 4.5 because I always just kind of listen to the criticisms of others where, you know, it's not as ambitious, it's not as big as Nolan's other films. It's very straightforward. It's more linear, although it's not even entirely linear. It's more linear, more straightforward, just kind of more basic than Nolan's other films. So, you know, I always kind of weighed it down for those criticisms. But man, after this last watch, I was like, you know what? Those criticisms don't mean anything to me. They don't. They really don't mean, because they don't affect my viewing experience. And I don't rate films based on other people's viewing experiences. I don't rate films based on what critics say about a movie. I've been to film school. I know how films work. I've put together, you know, short films. I've written scripts. Like I know what makes a good film. So I don't have to listen to critics say if a film is a good film or not. I don't care what they have to say. I judge films based on my personal viewing experience. And this last time I was like, yeah, this is a 5 out of 5. I love this film. There's nothing in Insomnia that bothers me. There really isn't. It, you know, it has the emotional impact, the emotional weight to it for a 5 out of 5. It has the characters. I love Pacino as the lead character in the film. I thought he does a great job. Even though a lot of people, when they do talk about Insomnia, they talk about Robin Williams, and he is great. He is absolutely great. Don't hear this, what I'm about to say, as me knocking Robin Williams or taking anything away from his performance. He was brilliant in the film. Loved him. But for me, I actually think Pacino was the standout in this film. And that's because, one, as an actor, as someone who's done acting, someone who has studied acting, loves acting, Pacino's doing more in his performance than Robin Williams. He actually has a more difficult task in his performance as well. You have to portray this character as a guy that's losing his mind. You have to sell the fact that he is suffering from insomnia. You have to show it. You have to convince it, and be convincing in it. But also, it can't just happen all of a sudden over one scene. It has to be gradual in how you show it. But you also have to show all of the internal emotional struggles that Pacino's character is dealing with. So that kind of challenge is actually quite difficult to pull off, and Pacino pulls it off brilliantly. I'm more fascinated with him than I am with Robin Williams. Both guys do a great job. Hilary Swank does a great job. I love detective stories. I love a good detective film, a good detective narrative. And this, in my opinion, is up there with, you know, Seven, you know, The Batman from 2022. You could throw into the true detective type of stories and films. And this is one of the best, in my opinion. I love Insomnia. And yeah, after this last watch, it cemented itself as a 5 out of 5 for me. Yeah, I don't care what the critics say about it. It's a 5 for me. So number 4 on my list. Coming in at number 3, we have Tenet. I'm going to say this. I think Tenet is the most underrated Nolan film. Easy. Dude, I see like the Letterboxd score for Tenet is considerably low compared to other Nolan films. The Rotten Tomatoes score for this, the IMDb score for this, so many different rankings from other people that I've seen online on YouTube. I'm just like, I mean, Tenet is always towards the bottom or at the bottom. I'm just like, did you guys see the same film? Like, are you just going along with the status quo because you know other people say that this movie isn't that good, so you just kind of, you know, hop on the bandwagon and just speak the party line? Or do you actually truly think that this is a bad film or not all that good? This is a great film. Why should Nolan be penalized because you can't keep up with the film? I said it. I said it. Unsubscribe if you want. I don't care. Why should Nolan be penalized because you can't keep up with the film? Like the fact that Nolan made a very dense a story and narrative that actually rewards rewatches because you get something new every time you watch it. There's so much to unpack. I don't want a film where I understand everything fully on the first time I watch it. Like that's not fun. Like I want a film that rewards rewatches and where I see something new every time I watch it. And I've seen Tenet probably 7 or 8 times now. I saw it in theaters and I loved it. I've seen it 6 or 7 times since, and I've loved it more every time because I'm always seeing something new. I love Tenet. I think the action is great. The story is great. Its pacing is just incredible. There's never a dull moment. I think it definitely has what Inception lacks, and that is an emotional heartbeat to it. I think everything with the lady is Kat. Is that her name? The character's lady, the blonde chick. Man, everything with her and her son, her relationship with her son, that's emotionally heavy, man. Like she's basically a character that has all but lost her will to even live. Like her son is really the only thing that's keeping her alive. She's hit rock bottom. She's lost everything other than her son. And yet her son, her love for her son is her anchor, man. It's what's keeping her going. And she fights for her son, and she finally gets out of this prison, this emotional prison that she's in by her asshole husband. She finally breaks free from that in the third act, and she finally it earns her freedom again and earns a second chance to live. And earns her second chance to live the life that she wants to live, man. Like I'm getting chills right now thinking about that. That's emotionally powerful, dude. Like, how is this film so ranked so low and get such pot shots thrown at it by critics and by other people who, think this is one of the weakest Nolan film? It baffles me, man. This is an absolutely incredible film. I love Tenet. I've always loved it. I will always love this movie. It's number 3 for me, and it's a 5 out of 5. I don't care what anyone else says. Love Tenet. It's number 3. Coming in 1 and 2, guys, you already know. Obviously, the only 2 Nolan films I haven't mentioned. 2 Batman films. Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Batman Begins is number 2, and The Dark Knight is my number 1. These really shouldn't need too much explanation. I've already mentioned I'm a huge Batman fan. Fanboy, if you want to call me that. I'll wear it proudly, man. I love Batman, and these are 2 of the best Batman films of all time. Nolan just nails the character, puts together 2 great stories that are very different from each other. The Dark Knight is very different than Batman Begins. The narrative is different, the themes are different, the look is different. 2 very different films that still feel very connected at the same time, and that's just the brilliance of Nolan. I love Batman's origin story. I think he has the best origin story of any superhero. So Batman Begins, that origin story, I love it. I thought Nolan told it and nailed it perfectly. And yeah, both of these films are in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I saw both of them in theaters. The Dark Knight was my favorite movie of all time for 14 years, guys. From the moment I saw this in theaters the first time, I saw this multiple times in theaters. From the moment I saw it the first time in theaters until 2022, for 14 years, The Dark Knight was my favorite movie of all time. All right, so that shows you how much I love The Dark Knight. Begins is not far behind it. Both are 5 out of 5. I love both of these films. Christian Bale does a great job as Batman. The cast is just great. The cast is brilliant. Obviously, what Heath Ledger, R.I.P. to Heath, what Heath did as the Joker in The Dark Knight, reset the bar to just a new height. And yeah, just such an iconic villain, such an iconic character, such an iconic performance, that I still has not been topped as far as performances of the Joker. To me, Heath is the best. He's the best Joker. And this is coming from someone that loved Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, someone who loves Mark Hamill as the voice of Joker, someone who loved Jack Nicholson as the Joker in Batman '89. But for me, what Heath did in The Dark Knight is that's Mount Everest, man. That's the top. That's the benchmark. So yeah, Dark Knight 1, Batman Begins number 2. There's not a big gap there between the two of them. Like I said, they're both 5 out of 5. They're both in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is my ranking of all 13 Christopher Nolan films. But what say you? Let me know your ranking in the comments section. How wacky was my list? Let me know. And until next time, you freaks, kick it and rock on.